I wish Duke Rain Pog was global. That would be tight as hell. But it is not. But alas, earwax. Hello everyone! Happy Sunday Midday Dooger. It says it is. It is not. I wish. Look, I can go to my people at Twitch. I'll go to my people at Twitch and be like, look, the people know what they want. Hello. Happy Sunday. It's overcast here. Got a little coffee. Got some chill jams playing. It's trippy. Burke Black, what the heck? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. I literally just swapped over from my pre-show.
Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Loving coffee, drinking burrito babe.
That's a heavy damn. Hello. What's up? I'm Dodger. And this is the stream where once a week I literally just sit here with a cup of coffee and talk about life. So if that sounds like your jam, if you're wanting some chill vibes, you're in the right place. How late am I? You are not. I literally just got here because chickens and children and, you know, all of the other things that routinely make me late for my own streams. Love the lighting vibes. Should I not turn on the other light? Should I leave it? Is this good? Are we liking the cool tones? That's fine. It's comfy. It's cozy. Wonderful. Unterhosen also. Unterhosen at work. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you so much for the subscription. It's a Sunday mood, you know? Twoo. What does your shirt say? La légende, toujours. Tommy Hilfiger. The legend, always. Chicken and children. You know? Both require a little bit of attention sometimes. The chickens I typically let out to graze, to like free roam, at the same time that I start stream. But that means sometimes I start pre-show and I sit down and I'm about to swap over and I go, chickens. I did not do that yet. And you know, they get to a point where they know what their schedule is. So they're sitting outside like, where the fuck is she? Open the gate, release the hounds / chickens. Tu prononçais bien le français, merci. Je parle un peu de français. Angry chickens. You know, they're cute. They give us eggs. Thank you, chickens. Thank you, chickens. And they're lovely. They're sweetie pies. They're not at the point yet where they let us touch them super consistently. Sometimes I'll walk over and they're like, they kind of just squat down. Almost like, if you want to scritch my back, it's chill with me. But it's very inconsistent. They don't like being picked up at all, which is partially probably because I'm still not super comfortable myself picking them up. So, you know, it's like dancing with a person who isn't really comfortable dancing. And you're like, this is fine. But, you know, eventually I really hope that we stop stepping on one another's feet. They won't put up a fuss if I pick them up, but you can tell they're uncomfy. Look, chickens are little raptors. They'll eat literally anything. They do get some benefits from eating their own eggs. It's weird, but it's true. They will eat their own eggs and not have any qualms about it. And a lot of people feed their own eggshells back to them because it gives them calcium that makes future eggshells tougher, etc. So the rock mix that I use, chickens don't have teeth, so they have to they eat rocks and other hard things, and use those. They store them in their gizzard and use those to break down food. Chickens. So there's rock mixes that you can get with oyster shell and all sorts of other things in them that that are really good and give them those things. If that's a little riche for you though, you can just feed them back their own eggshells. Chicken's gonna chicken, yeah. Our chickens are obsessed with chives. I have to hide the chive plant from them and let it regrow and then put it back where they can reach it, and they will annihilate it in a day. So there's that. I haven't tried. A lot of people will grow sprouts, like alfalfa and things like that, and apparently chickens adore that as well. I haven't tried growing that for them yet. Yeah, criking the chive plant. Annihilated by the chickens. Nothing else. Well, that's not really true. It's hard. Some plants get destroyed, but just because chickens naturally want to dig. And so if I have a planter box with something in it and they are able to jump into the planter box, they'll just destroy it with their big old dino feet. Happy birthday, Tortor. How are you? I hope you're having a lovely day. Oh, no, for clarity, I was offered the Final Fantasy thing. I was offered the Final Fantasy thing. It was a little muddy what it was because there was NDAs involved. Yeah, I was offered that. But because it's gift subbed, I'm fine with not being part of it because I think that it's great that it's a lot of smaller streamers, if I'm being honest. So because it's not like normal drops, it's gift sub based, right? So yeah. I was offered to be part of that. But I have been seeing a lot of the criticisms about there's a obvious lack of diversity and all sorts of other things. So I hope that they'll be able to communicate some of those questions and concerns to Square for future events like this. No, I mean, again, to be clear, I was just kind of confused about what it was initially. But I could have followed up and been like, oh, sorry, yes, I do want to be part of that. And I just decided not to, so. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that a lot of streamers that consistently stream Final Fantasy have been trying to figure out the best way to communicate feedback to them. So hopefully they'll take that to heart. Been playing any D&D with Sam's fam lately? No. No, Sam's mom and dad and sister, because again, they all live in the same house, and so they're able to go and do whatever together. But they got, I guess, what we would call a motorhome, but out here it's called a caravan. They got a caravan, and went on a huge trip, and just drove around some certain areas of England and had an absolute blast. And they just got back. And they just feel so relaxed and happy. I went by because Nancy, Nancy offered, I bought like another huge bag of chicken feed and it hadn't shown up yet, and I was like, I don't know what to do because I'm out. And she was like, oh, you can probably get it at like X, Y, and Z stores. I'm actually going to get a bunch of stuff for my ferrets, so I'll just get you some. So I swung by their house to grab chicken feed, and Dad answered the door, and I was like, how you doing? You feeling good? And you can tell they're just so much more like, but yeah, I do still want to try and get them to play. Clarky had her first play date with like a friend from preschool yesterday. We met up with her like best friend from school and her dad, and they played, and we got to like talk with another parent, which was super fun. And like of course it turned out that this person also plays D&D all the time. Is like a historical reenactor, like all of this shit, and I was like, oh my god, amazing. So we had plenty to talk about. It was great. I know. Yeah. So that was very fun, and the girls had a blast. It was like, they like slow, in my mind's eye, when they saw each other at the park, they like slow motion ran to each other and just hugged and just sat there hugging for like 30 seconds. It was so cute. I was like, stop. They love each other so much. It was very sweet. So we were like, we have to do this again for sure. I know. Do I have any great books to recommend? I'm not the right person to talk to about like novels, like written info. I'm not the person to talk to. I can recommend manga and comics, books. I slowly work my way through books 24/7. And by that I mean it takes me a really long time to get through a book, but I'm always like reading a little bit, you know? I know, Clarky's got a best friend. They've been best friends since Clark started preschool. But we couldn't have play dates. You know, we couldn't do that at all. So they saw each other all the time at preschool, but we could never, like, we couldn't meet the parents. We never saw this other kid, like, so yeah. Any news on the preschool kid that's terrified of Clark? Which one was terrified of her? I actually can't remember. Do you read manga faster? For sure. I always thought it was so bizarre. I've talked about this on stream before, but I've had friends before who have said I can read a novel way faster than I can read a comic book. And that blows my mind because I can read a comic, you know, like a graphic novel or like a volume of manga. I can read really fast, way faster than I can read a novel. I'm hesitant to recommend books. My tastes are all over the place. I mean, I can tell you things like, when it comes to manga, my favorite manga ever is Vinland Saga. There's an anime of it as well that I think was a really good adaptation. If you want to watch that, I believe it's on Amazon Prime in most places. But Vinland Saga is a fantastic manga. It's historical Viking. And the art is fantastic. It's a little gory because it's about like war and stuff, but it's fantastic, really well done. Another one that is great, but again is not for everybody, is Uzumaki. It's a Junji Ito horror manga. It's my favorite horror manga ever. I would highly recommend that. only if you're okay with like body horror and like weird psychological trippy shit. But Uzumaki, very good. Oh, and this is actually the first volume of Vinland Saga. The rest of my Vinland Saga was stolen along with my car. Ripperonis. So I keep trying to remind myself, like, I should really get those volumes again. It's fine. I'm okay with supporting the manga twice. And then Saga, if you want something more like Western, Saga is a fantastic series of comics. A lot of these that I'm saying are ones that easily other people would also say, but there's a reason that a lot of people recommend them, you know? Elder's car got stolen forever ago, yeah. When we were still in LA. What can you do? If you want something that's like more like romance based, but is also about like the way that the internet can kind of bring us together, Densha Otoko is very good. Train Man. I loved that manga. I gave that manga a 10 out of 10, and I'm not super into like romance stuff, but Densha Otoko is so good. Other stuff that I think generally is, I don't know. I think that's a good starting point. Did you see the trailer for Chainsaw Man? Did it just come out? No, I haven't seen it yet. I saw a bunch of people waiting around for it, but I haven't seen the actual trailer. Do you mean to still have music on? I don't, but I can turn it off. No one else has been mentioning it, so if it's good vibes, I'll leave it. If you'd rather it off, then music's fine. Great, I'll leave it on. But wait, it's from it's an album called Coffee Date. It's a Game Chops album. Fullmetal Alchemist is fantastic. It's very long though, but it is good. This is amazing. The burning animated emote. It's also my profile picture on everything currently, and I keep pretty much once a day have been getting a message from somebody I know being like, is this new? Because this seems alarming. This picture, this hasn't been your picture for a while, right? Chainsaw Man trailer is amazing. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I love the shelving unit behind you. Thank you. I found a guy on Etsy that lives near me, who makes them. It was delivered fully built because it was built by a guy. By that I mean just like, I don't mean like a man built it, so it was nonsensical bullshit. I mean like just, you know, a person around the corner built it, so they were like, I'm just gonna build it and then have it delivered to your house. I was like, okay. So it was like a whole thing getting it up the stairs. It happened on stream. Sam 100% like biffed it into the ceiling. But yeah, is there a clip? I'm sure there is. Probably in our clips channels, now that I think about it. We have a clips channel now in Discord, and a lot of the funny shit, fortunately, bless you guys, a lot of the funny shit winds up getting clipped and put in there, so. Do you ever get tired of 5e and find yourself looking for a different system? Absolutely. A lot of people want to run 5e though. It's accessible and a lot of people know how to do it. So, but yeah, there are lots of systems that I like. I mean, that's why I did Hollow Knight and Fate, right? It's because I love Fate. But yeah. Apocalypse World is your all-time fave. I feel like the very first thing I ever did with roleplay, with like JP's roleplay shows, was Apocalypse World. I think. I saw the painted portrait of you on Twitter. It's so good. I know, dude. Oh my god. The fact that they were like, yeah, just a really quick paint. Was like, it looks like a fucking picture of me. What do you mean a quick painting? Incredible. But yeah. Sorry, backtracking a little bit. I do definitely still want to run a game for my my in-laws. I was talking about it again with Sam the other day, and he was like, "You realize that the idea of all of us sitting at a table and me having to play it is just hell for me." I was like, "It's too fucking bad." He was like, last time my mom literally tried to murder everyone. I was like, I know. What's she gonna do next time? We're gonna fucking find out. Summer, what's up? Artists are scary, dude. So skilled, so blessed. Yeah, my mother-in-law was a murder hobo. 100%. Sounds like a fun mom. I agree. He was like, last time my mom tried to kill everybody, my dad kept rolling ones and thought the game was bullshit. Like, it's just, it's really rough on me. Good for her. Good for her. Yeah, well, we ran, so it was like a 2-session, it was a module that's meant to be a one-shot, but it was like a 2-session thing that I did with them before. And that was fun. They've said that they want to play again, so. That's why I was saying a while back, I want to do it again, but this time have the theme be the classic everybody's in jail. You're starting off in jail. You all have to work together to get out of jail. And that way, if my mother-in-law is like, I want to be evil, great. That's why you're in jail. And if everybody else is like, no, I'm a good person, then great. You're in jail under false pretenses. Wonderful. It doesn't change the fact that you're all in jail. Bum, 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 bum. I'm a good person. Jury's out. Jury's out. I also like the idea of like trying to like that also creates a situation where they can explore the idea. It's really interesting trying to run D&D in a way where everybody is like learning how to be a good player. And by that I mean like learning how not to metagame, learning like, you know, learning how to, you know, let other people have their moment for RP and stuff like that. It is really interesting trying to think about things that way, because I'm like, all of them starting in jail is also a good way to encourage all of them, like, separately, like, talk to each one individually and be like, if you want to tell everyone that you're innocent, but you're actually not, you can do that. That's a thing you can do. And if you haven't outwardly said that you aren't innocent and someone claims to know that, then we can go, shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't know that for real, right? Not that I'm eagerly looking forward to looking my father-in-law in the eye and being like, shut the fuck up, bitch. That's not the plan, but, you know, just the vibe. I love that I always enter when D&D talks happen. Amarian, that always used to happen with Amarian. Amarian would show up and be like, ah, I see, I'm here right on time. Watching people play D&D has given me a good impression of how it should be done. It's technically a co-op game. It is. It is. You're a team. It doesn't mean that it can't be one of those games where you have your own motivations and your own goals and all of that shit. Of course you do. But there has to be a reason that you're all working together, right? And this is what we kept trying to tell my mother-in-law, is we were like, if we're gonna do a longer game and the whole time you're trying to murder people, they're gonna kill you. They're either gonna kill you or drop your ass, and you're gonna have to make a new character. Like, they're not gonna just put up with that shit because it doesn't make sense for them to. So everybody needs to have reasons to be there. Or just commit or commit to whatever it is that you want to do and accept that there will be consequences for that, you know? Family teams are sometimes the funniest. Oh, I completely agree. Absolutely. Also, Chamber of the Eight session 1 was so good. Ah, thanks, Summer. Yeah, that shit was wacky. Any of you guys who watch the IO stuff and haven't watched Chamber of the Eight yet, you should. If you want to... Everybody has been like, man, the group in Chamber of the Eight, you can really tell that they've played together before. It was so fun playing with everybody again, because that's the group that was playing together in the offline games right before Brett started streaming. So it was so fun for all of us. Not everybody, obviously, not all of us were there, but it was fun for that group to be together again because we were all throwing so much shit. It was very fun. Poor woman wants to go ham in D&D with all the boys she had to raise. Give her a little. She can be a badass. I can help my mother-in-law build a fucking insane badass character. Sam can min-max her to death. Like, whatever. Like, we can make her busted. That's fine. I'm just trying to tell her that, you know, there are things that are going to be maybe fun for you as an individual that won't be fun for the rest of the players, or in character will make the other players go, why would my character put up with this shit, you know? Was Patches Sam's old character. So there were two rounds of offline games, right? So there were the original games with the heroes. So my character Wazy was one of the like OG heroes. And then there was a game that took place 500 years later. And so we had new characters for that. That was also offline. So that was my artificer character, Poe. was like the secondary character. Patches was Sam's secondary character. He had to rebuild them from scratch though, because their subclass didn't exist anymore. So he was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna have to build Patches up from zero all over again. But there's one role in there that solidified for me that the character was still absolutely busted. So there's no reason, no complaints, I'm sure, on Sam's side. But yeah, Patches was Sam's old offline character, and the little kobold was Sput's old offline character. And the rest of us had characters that we were playing in the new games. None of the others seemed to know the character. Oh, no, Patches was in my group. I know Patches very well. Patches was in my group. Yeah, Sput's character, I was not in were they Friday group at that point? I don't even remember. Whatever group Sput was in, I didn't know Sput's character. I also had never met Shane's current characters. Honey? Is that his character's name? Shane's current character is so... What a dum-dum. What an adorable dumb bitch. It really made me want to watch their campaign. Because I haven't been watching it. Is there a good campaign to start up with to catch up with all the stuff happening in IO? I think if you wanted a campaign that really like touches on everything that's going on all the way through, start with Arcane Academy. Arcane Academy becomes Astral Academy. Watch those campaigns, because Arcane Academy was the very first IO streamed campaign, and it follows the through line of like stuff escalating and getting more intense. I'm in Misdemeanor, so part of me really wants to be like, but also watch Misdemeanor. But to be honest, we're just fucking yo-ho-hoing all on our own in the middle of the ocean. Like, we're not involved in nearly as much shit. So you should really you should stick with Arcane Academy and then Astral Academy. If you want to just do one campaign and like kind of have an idea of what's going on. Yes, Summer. Oh my god, please. Sam was trying to tell me what all of your guys' characters are, and I'm very excited. You were there as Aylas, not an older character. In Chamber of the Eight, yes. Chamber of the Eight was to put it as simply as possible, a bunch of characters from a bunch of campaigns were suddenly sucked away in like a bright light. And then all of those characters showed up in the same spot for Chamber of the Eight, which is like a mini side campaign. So. So yeah, I'm playing Aylas, and it's very fun because I love Aylas. Based on something that Brett said, I'm starting to think Aylas will not be alive after the time skip. Whenever the time skip happens, I don't think Aylas will live through it. Which means I need to start rolling wild magic as many times as possible to get something fucky-wucky happening to keep this kid alive. How many times do I gotta roll wild magic before I either blow myself up or get immortality? Which one do I need? We'll figure it out. No, I don't know if he said it on stream, but he said it in his like community Discord before that like there's gonna be a time skip, that we're like finishing up the current campaigns and then there'll be a time skip and then like the third act basically of IO stuff. So first act was the offline stuff, second act is everything that's happened in the streamed games, and there will be another time skip and then the third act of IO. And so I kept being like, well, how long of a time skip are we talking about? Because Aylas is half-elf, you know, and he's a kid, so maybe he could still be alive after the time skip. I'm starting to think that's not true. So I gotta start doing some weird wild magic shit. I want him to experience his first awkward love. Me too! I also want these things. But I gotta get something fucky wucky going on. We'll figure it out. Aylas is a good boy. Thank you. I agree. You guys play D&D on stream? I'm new. What's up? Welcome. Yeah, I'm in a couple of streamed games. Our friend Brett is doing the I run a bunch of games and they're all in the same world and they're all interconnected sort of jazz. So I'm in a pirate campaign playing as a 13-year-old sorcerer who's a sassy boy. But yeah. So there's that, and then Godforged is the other one that I'm in, which is our friend Joe, and Godforged is standalone. There's no other games. And in that, I'm a very chaotic, mischievous rabbit person, which is also very fun. Aylas is a half-elf. Oh my god, you're right. I can't. Oh shit. It has to be a really specific type of immortality, doesn't it? Because otherwise he's gonna be stuck a 13-year-old forever. Fucking 5 vibes from Umbrella Academy. Yeah, Amarian just did the command to link them. Oh god. Can you imagine being stuck the second you start puberty, your body just freezes forever? I don't want that. I don't want that for him. Just let him live a normal life. Never mind. Never mind. I'm not pursuing immortality anymore. I don't want to curse him that way. Bye, Kayla. Have a good day. How often do the time skips happen? Well, the first time skip happened offline. So all of the games that have happened on stream so far have all occurred in the same timeline and all like parallel and whatever. So this would be the first time skip that would happen on stream, basically. We are the ones that did the seed thing. Yeah. Has that fucked you guys over at all? We straight up did the seed thing, and then we're like, this seems like not a thing that we know how to deal with, and then we left. So it was definitely the vibes of like, somebody else can probably take care of this. Just kind of fucked up. It's actually a good thing for us right now? Fuck yes. I mean, yeah, we did that. For you. Don't worry about it. Watch Misdemeanor. All according to plan. All a part of Keikaku. Summer, are you still running a thing? You're running a game, right? Or are you like gonna be running it, or? Ah, fuck. I told Brett, I hope it's cool that I said this. I told Brett, I was like, after the time skip, FYI, Summer and I have desperately been trying to play in a game together, and it keeps getting like cock blocked. So if you want us to play again after the time skip, if you could put us in the same game, that would be tight. Thanks. Yeah, that's fair. Are we gonna play Life is Strange 3? Yeah, Jesse and I will definitely play that. Brett's so mad. I'm about to be in 3 games of his at the same time. Dude, what? Oh shit, that's amazing. That's actually great though. Yo, live that good life. I was saying I just need an excuse to make a new character. Because I haven't had a reason to like really make a new character in a while. Bye, Geek Jokes. What would your new character be? I've never played a bard and I've never played a cleric. Like if we're talking D&D specifically, I've never played a bard or a cleric. I would love to mess around with either of those classes. I think that would be really fun. Bard cleric? Sure, yeah. Jesus, Gilsteel. I sent Brett updated art of my Radiance character last night and he said, haha, now make 2 more. Jesus. Was that a Cyberpunk game you played a while back? Cyberpunk game. Like a TTRPG or like a video game? If it's a TTRPG, it would be Shadowrun. Yep, Mirror Shades. Boop! That's what this is. When we completed Mirror Shades, JP sent all of us one of these. That's my character. And that was my wife in the game. Bon Bon. Yeah, my character's name was Breakdown. I was a dove shaman. I was their healer. Yeah, we got together for real. Dove shaman, like the bird. Yeah, so this is Shadowrun. It's not D&D. It's a cyberpunk TTRPG, but the big thing with Shadowrun, and Shadowrun is what Callous Row is based on. So if you watch Callous Row at all and you're like, oh, it's so weird that like some places are really like nature magic based, and other areas are all about like cybernetics and technology and stuff. That's like the core aspect of Shadowrun is like these extremes of a world that was like a lot like ours, and then there was a lot of technological advancement, and at the same time there was a big magic boom, right? So there are areas that are entirely about magic who completely reject technology, and there are areas that are entirely all about technology and like basically just turn me into a robot as fast as possible, right? And there's a little bit of crossover, but generally like magic and technology can't mix. Like they don't work well with each other. So yeah. So my character was a magic based character. I had no cybernetics whatsoever. Everybody else did though. One day though, Dodger, we will play. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After this time skip or whatever, you know, in like months, after this time skip or whatever, if you're like, I will play again. I'll fight tooth and nail for us to play together. If you want me to. If you don't want to hang out with me, it's chill. But I think you do. I think we should play together. So in Calistro, my character is literally a mushroom person. And I live in the area that is like a magic den. Should the D&D command be updated with Chamber of the Eight? It could be. I wasn't going to because it's only like a 2-session thing. Delivered? Someone chucked a package over our gate. When I just get a notification that's like, this thing was delivered, and I didn't get a buzz at all or a doorbell ring, I know somebody was like, fucking just chucked it. It happens all the time. Yes, you're right. I do need to update the misdemeanor command. Hold on. Let me make myself some notes. Okay. Da 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 da. Ba 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 da. One sec. It just reminded me that my father-in-law was supposed to drop something off and the gate was not open. What if they hit the doorbell with the package? That would be weird. Yeah, that would be odd. Chickens make good guard animals. Dude. So our chickens basically follow me everywhere. If I'm outside, they just follow me or chase me, which is very cute until I'm walking toward the gate. If the gate is open and I'm trying to do something before the gate closes and the chickens are chasing me, I'm always like, no, stop, no, fuck, go away. I did not. I think it's my plastic putty knives. Because I have a metal one, but I don't know how to treat it right. I don't know how to treat it right, and it keeps rusting, and I feel bad. So I finally got a plastic one, so. That would be cool. That's not a bad idea, Deacon. We've talked before about, we made a big list of every TTRPG game I've been in on stream. I still have that as a sticky note. So we talked about making that a page on the website before. But yeah, it would be cool if there was a list of all of them with links, and then at the top it was like, these are the ones I'm currently in. That's not a bad idea. I keep forgetting there's music playing. So whatever I'm humming is like deeply clashing with whatever's actually playing in the background. Happy time zone, everybody. Bum, bum, bum. Or you're harmonizing. I don't know if you can harmonize when you're singing a totally different song. I don't know if that's how that works, but I'm willing to roll the dice a little bit on this. Oh, yeah. We're trying to finally put up the wardrobe shit that I bought. I got the screws. We have the hardware that we need. So I think finally we will not be living out of piles of clothes on the floor. Maybe. Please God, just let us finish this bullshit so I can put clothes away. Please. Yeah. No, look, I was talking about this. I mean, I've talked about everything on Earth probably more than once. But definitely like trying to focus on where are the areas in the house that create like confusing clutter, right? Like for both Sam and I, with how our brains work, like big things that get in the way of us understanding like whatever is going on currently is clutter. Clutter is like a really big like mental barrier, right? And definitely a big clutter thing is if there's just clothes everywhere, right? So we keep being like, okay, number one priority is give all of the clothing a home. Give the clothing a home. Put the clothing in a home finally, right? So that it's not just this pile I'm pretty sure is clean. This one I'm almost positive is dirty. And I think that one over there is like, we wore it once, but it might be too dirty to wear again. We'll sniff it. It's fine. And it's not working, right? So, yes. Thank you, Strobe Cat. What a sweet message. Love the lighting today. A bunch of people have said that. I didn't know that you guys were into the cool tones, but now I do. It's because it feels like rainy overcast, right? It's a nice vibe, I guess. Is it just me, or does everyone have like a junk drawer? I grew up with a junk drawer. We don't really have a junk drawer now, but I'm definitely have pack rat tendencies. So there are just like spots throughout the house that are like, I don't know, shit goes here. So there aren't drawers, but there are certainly piles. There's like a lot of spaces in the house that are like, this looks fine. And then there's, what the fuck is that? And my brain eventually filters that out and pretends it's not there. And when I actually try to see it, if I actually try to see it, it's like there's a brain rat that's like, no, 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 you didn't see nothing. You didn't see shit. Keep walking. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. There's a table in my bedroom that once had an accessible mirror. I really want to get like a full-length mirror because this is yet another, I mean, probably most short people experience this, but this is yet another house where when I stand in front of the mirrors, I see from here up, and that's pretty much it. And I keep being like, I keep saying, once we have all of the clothing put away and in its own places, then I'll know where it would make sense to put a mirror so I can actually see myself if I'm putting clothing on. Currently, what I do is I stand on the potty. I stand on the potty and then I go like this so that I can see in the mirror and I go, yeah, that's fine. So I would rather not do that anymore. My wife does interior design and posts photos to Instagram with stuff done up, and then a few days later does a follow-up post of reality. I love that, though. I was saying before, I watch a lot of videos that are like earth ships and tiny houses and cob houses and stuff like that. Because, you know, there are channels that are like YouTube channels that are entirely about alternate living options. And most of them, much like any other, you know, sort of home stuff, most of them, when the person's walking through, it's like, everything looks pristine, it all looks perfect. And there was one specific one where they were walking through and doing the video, and this person was just like, just left it. Like, it looked like a person lived there, right? It was literally as though you showed up, rang the doorbell, and you were like, hey, can I come in for just a minute? You know, and like, talk to you about something or whatever. Like, there were papers, there was like a pot and pan from making breakfast, like all kinds of shit, just like out. And it had such a vibe of like, oh right, this is what houses actually look like most of the time. This is the topic that ended with the 3 stuffed mice mini museum. No, is it? We have to abort. We have to go somewhere else. So shake, you're right, it is. I'm remembering this now. Because we were talking, oh fuck, you're right. This is the exact conversation that led to that. Anyways, for anybody who missed it, one day I'm gonna have a tiny museum with taxidermied mice in it. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be really good though. I fucking completely forgot that that's how we got there. I totally forgot about that. Wow. Yeah, we need to go somewhere else. We need to verbally go somewhere else. I don't want to play D&D anymore. What do you have against taxidermied mice? One of them will play the piano and the other one's just looking at a cool piece of art. It was almost as though, wait. I'm going on a trip now. Was this the same conversation where I talked about the person who's making a really cursed a cursed like dollhouse? Yes? We were talking about the cursed dollhouse? Okay. Okay, cool. How are the 10-minute smashdowns going? They're not, they're not going. You know how I was like, oh, it's 10 minutes. It'll be super easy to just fit like a 10-minute thing in. We keep getting like sort of into the rhythm that we are normally in of like, okay, we're eating together, Sam goes to work, I start doing bedtime, right? And then I go, oh fuck, we didn't do the thing. So I've been doing like 10-minute throwdowns on my own, which has actually been really nice. The idea of it is you have a timer, you set the timer for 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, you do as much tidying as you can. And then once the 10 minutes are up, you're like, and now I'm done. And I'm going to do other shit, right? And it's been helpful for me in the mornings because there are some mornings where I feel like I'm constantly like trying to pick stuff up instead of totally focusing on Clark. There's some mornings where it's really easy to just be like, fuck it, I'll do it later. Clark, you and I, we're hanging out. And then there are other mornings where my brain's just kind of all over the place and I'm just like kind of doing dishes and kind of doing, you know, all sorts of other things and not really focusing on Clark. So like this morning, Clark started eating breakfast and I was like, I'm gonna do a thing for a couple of minutes. And she was like, cool. Set the timer, did 10 minutes. And then when it buzzed, I was like, great. And now I'll hang out with Clark. And Clark was done eating. And it worked out perfectly. So it was really nice for a morning like this, where I could tell that I was kind of foggy, you know? Yeah, but it's really nice. It's sort of a skewed thing, kind of like Pomodoro, right? Where it's like you just work for a certain amount of time and you do not work more than that, right? Once it's done, then you move on to the next stage, which in our case is hang out with your kid and don't worry about it. So do you have any games planned for the stream this week? I've really been enjoying Ender Lilies. I want to play more of that for sure. But I really want to look at, because people have been recommending games with their channel points. So I really want to look at the channel point redemptions as well and double check what sort of things people are consistently asking for and make sure that I'm paying attention to those as well. Dr. Subterfuge, thank you so much for the gifted subs. So welcome to the Cat Gang, everybody. If you're gifted a sub, make sure that you take the time to say thank you. I feel like I'm missing so much context. I used to watch your YouTube like 10-ish years ago. I just found your stream last week. Yo, welcome back. What's up? Yeah, a lot has changed in my life in 10 years. I have a 3-year-old. I'm married. I live in England. I own a coffee company. Yeah, life is totally different. I'm very happy, if that helps. I'm very happy. I'm in a really good place. I have a lovely little family. And I stream almost every day. So. And streaming also makes me very happy. Heading over shortly. Wonderful. You have a game studio? True. But like visually and interactively, there's nothing for you guys to interact with that way, so I haven't been mentioning that one. My little girl is 9. Oh my gosh, I can't think about that. I can't think about Clark being that old. I'll die. True, I have chickens, I have worms, I have cats. You have worms? How does that work? We have a vermicomposter. So we have a composter that is entirely worm run. So you put a bunch of dirt in there, you throw in some worms, you let them get all comfy, and then you start feeding them. You give them scraps. There are certain types of foods that worms generally don't want and certain types of foods that they really want. Yeah, so we let our wormies eat a bunch of our food scraps. Mm-hmm. I really need to get them because we had like the mite infestation in the worm farm and everything. So I really need to get them. There's like basically little like worm pellets that you can get that are really, really good for worms. Like just give them stuff that they really need. So do you use them to fish? Nope. They're just a little worm family in there that we feed and try to help thrive, and they create soil for us and fertilizer, and that's it. How do worms get mites? It's a common problem with a new bin. Mites will show up and start if there's too much food that isn't getting eaten. So we were basically overloading them with food. They weren't able to eat it quickly enough, and so mites started to develop in the worm farm, eating the food. We also saw them eating one of the dead worms, which was really disconcerting. But anyways, so you basically like have to deal with the mites so that you can start feeding the worms again. So yeah, you don't want the situation in there to have too much food like just sitting out. I now chop up the food that I'm giving them pretty small and make sure that it's at least partially buried in the soil that's already in there, so that there isn't a bunch of oxygen constantly getting to the food that we put in there, but also so that it's more ingestible. It's like the difference between, you know, giving them like a whole banana and chopped up banana skin is huge difference in how well they'll be able to process it and eat it quickly. So but it also creates fruit flies if you're not careful. We do not have a fruit fly problem anymore. Occasionally we still see mites, and I'm like, but I ordered some of specific type of dirt that I was told to get that kills mites and does not kill worms. So it's good stuff. I accidentally made a fruit fly farm when I tried it. Yeah. It happens. But they go away eventually. Basically, we were told anything like that, you basically just don't put food in there for a while. The worms will outlive the flies and the mites. You just have to not put food in there for a couple of weeks. The flies will go away, the mites will go away. Our mites kept coming back is the problem, but are there any other creatures you'd like to keep? I really love animals. I really miss having lizards, and I keep saying that I would love to get like a tank and have just frogs in there, like water frogs. I think stuff like that would be really fun. I don't think that I realistically would be able to take care of many more animals that require like a lot out of my day. You know, lizards, easy. Lizards are really easy to take care of. Depending on the type of lizard, they're also, you know, a creature you can interact with. I used to have lizards a lot when I was a kid because my mom's allergic to everything, but not lizards, right? So I could have lizards and lizards were fine. But, you know, people will be like, what about a goat? You could get a goat. I would love to have a goat. But a goat is another animal that's going to require a lot of, like, attentiveness, you know? And yeah, I love animals. I don't want to get an animal and put it in a position where it's not getting the best of me. You know? I think that when Clark is a bit older, it'll be easier. Does your landlord not mind all the animals, which might damage the house and lawn? They didn't care about the cats. They knew about the cats. We put down a deposit specifically for the cats. And the chickens, yeah, they didn't mind because, I mean, the damage that the chickens do to the lawn is kind of fixed by the fact that all of their poop is a fertilizer, but also a lawn is fairly easy to fix, you know? They do eat all the bugs as well. I'm telling you what, watching a chicken just chomp a wasp out of the air is amazing. Just like, fuck yes, girl. Eat 'em. Yeah, I like the look of the coops that you can move around a bunch. Our lawn isn't that big, so I was kind of physically moving it around every couple of days and then decided, you know what? I'm just going to leave it in one spot and let them kind of annihilate like one small spot of the yard. And then when it comes time to, you know, take care of that spot, we'll take care of it, but... Yeah, chickens are intense. They go for it. Wasps are the natural enemy of House Thorn. They don't live long around us. That Sam Wasp clip. It's very good. The other more recent thing was Sam went to put Clark in the car and there was either a bee or a wasp. I think it was a wasp again, but there was a stinging something that was inside of the car and right in front of her face as he was putting her in the car, and he just reached out and grabbed it and crushed it. It's like such dad energy, just like, no. So yeah, he got his hand stung, but right, straight up just dad instincts, just nope. My husband, who I'm talking about right now, is also a streamer. If you would like to watch him, he's a fearless dum-dum, and I love him very much. You can find him at twitch.tv/strippin. Chickens are dinosaurs, they'll eat anything. Yeah, when we first got chickens, I was talking about how I used to work on a farm where literally the lady that owned the farm would feed her chickens everything. Meat, vegetables, everything. Anything. I was just like, they'll eat that? And she was like, they'll eat anything. They'll eat literally anything, Brooke. It's like, okay. Well, bees literally vibrate. Yeah, they vibrate at such a like high frequency that they can overheat a thing and kill it. This was the thing we found out during the Hollow Knight game, because Benji was like, "Hey, bees can do this. Do you think my bee can do this?" And I was like, "What?" And went to look it up, and I was like, "Holy shit, you're right." Bees just like heat death things. Let me just throw that in the garbage disposal. Gives to chickens. Yeah. Well, that's why I keep saying I'm basically just trying to create a situation where I never have to throw food away again. Because, like, if I can just figure out, it's either going to the worms or going to the chickens or going in the normal compost pile, and those are the three options right now. I love bees until they fly in my face. Yeah, it's hard for me not to react. I've been stung a lot. And I love bees. Clark adores bees. We've found bees like in like our pool before and gotten them out and tried to feed them and get them flying again, and they have. Our paddling pool. When they're flying around, it's really hard for me to just like just stay still and not react. Sounds like pigs might be a good addition. I would love to have a pig. Sam also would love to have a pig, which surprised me. A pig is another animal though where I'm like, unless we have a farm, like unless we have the space for it, I don't want to get a pig, you know, unless there is a spot to put a pig and let it like really live its life. Aren't y'all getting dogs? Not anytime soon. Not in this house. There's nowhere for it to run. Pigs can be difficult. They're too smart. I mean, pigs are kids, right? Yeah, they're smart enough that you have to really know what you're doing or like do a lot of research to understand how to interact with them, because otherwise they just bully you to death. But yeah, again, you know, if Clark hits a certain age where she's got her Aunt Nancy is just constantly getting more and more animals. If Clark hits an age where she's like really involved with the animals that we have and is really interested in having more and being, you know, really invested in that, and we can together kind of in the mornings like have time where we're really focusing on the animals, great. But currently, you know, yeah, Clark comes out and helps me with stuff, but she can't help that much. You know, she mostly just kind of like chills. So. Just own a farm for Clark. Look, if at some point we have $1 million to blow, farms are expensive as fuck out here. So, you know, if we can afford it, I would love to have a little bit of land. It doesn't need to be much, just a little bit. Yeah, it's my putty knife.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
I think there's probably an alternate universe where we like take over my old family farm, like the farm that I grew up on. I think that would be awesome, but you know, it's in the middle of nowhere in Oregon, which is not where we want to be right now. You can both do farming streams. Sam has no interest in farming. Sam has zero interest. He is a city kid. What kind of farm did you grow up on? It was a ranch when I was younger, and then my dad got really sick, and we sold all of the animals. So I grew up with a bunch of animals around. We had rabbits and chickens, and we had like 3 generations of horses. We had sheep, all kinds of stuff. And then, yeah, my mom was full-time worker in Portland, in like the major city nearby. And my dad couldn't take care of the animals. Both of my siblings had already moved out and were like having their families and doing school and whatever else. So it was just me. And I wasn't old enough to help take care of everything. I couldn't do it. So we sold all of our animals and then kind of focused entirely on grass, hay, and oats, and did more of like the farming angle. And to this day, all of our land is used for grass hay. And there is a farming neighbor who basically like uses our property and farms it himself, bales it, takes it, etc. So that it's still, the land still gets utilized, but it's not reliant on us doing it because my parents are really old now. K-Falls like Klamath. Nice, nice. Yeah, I grew up in like the Banana Belt area, like Clackamas. Did your parents think about taking woofers or farmhands? I don't think so. Because my dad is very much a misanthrope. He just wants to be left by himself. He loves his family and that's it. He doesn't want to deal with people. He doesn't want to bother with people. So as much as it probably would have helped to have like farmhands or other people, you know, like travelers who just wanted to work on a farm and like see Oregon or whatever, as much as that probably would have helped a lot, that sort of thing it wasn't as accessible of an idea back when I was a kid anyway, because remember, I'm mid-30s. But also, like, even as my dad got older, you know, he's just become more and more of like, I'm good by myself. I don't need people around all the time, like fucking bothering me. So but on the flip side, my friend Aaliyah, the farm that she lives on, they take people in all the time. They always have 1 or 2 people living on their property short term, helping out. you know, and she said for them it's great, it works perfectly. It just wasn't something that my dad specifically was interested in. Your dad is me. I remember when I was really young, my dad at one point was like, I really hope that you and Jared is my brother, who's like, I really hope that you and Jared don't stay home all the time because you feel like you have to. Like, I really hope that just because essentially what he was saying was, I really hope that just because I hate people, it doesn't also make you hate people. But I think Jared and I just got, like, again, we lived in the woods, you know, we didn't have neighbors nearby. I think we just grew up in a situation where we were really used to, like, the isolation. And it's not like it was easy to go and see somebody anyway if you wanted to. If you wanted to go and see somebody, it was like you had to figure out who was going to drive you or who was going to drive them, and like how long were you going to be gone, because, you know, the roads late at night are really dangerous. So like, are you going to be out when it's dark? You know, like, it's just, there was so much that a lot of times Jared and I were just like, fuck it, I'll just stay home. I don't care. It's fine. Oh God, poor Teary. Did we ever have bears pay a visit? Bears were never an issue on our property. Coyotes were the big issue. Lots of coyotes around our place. That was the big issue. But I also, when I visit home and I hear them howling at night, it's like a security blanket. It's like, oh, I haven't heard coyotes in so long. So. But it weirded out Sam the first time he heard it, because you hear like the really confident howls, and then you hear a bunch of screeching, and the screeching noises are the babies like learning how to howl. And so you hear, it's so loud because there's definitely like a bunch of coyotes really close to the house at all times, right? So you just hear it, and some of it sounds so regal and some of it does not. And Sam was like, what the fuck is that? How are your parents and family coping with the heat? Fortunately, they have AC. They also have like a portable AC unit, like the ones that we have, back in the old shop. So my dad was like, I think I'm gonna go and get that, because there's a possibility, depending on how hot it gets, there's a possibility that our normal AC isn't gonna be able to cut it, and it's still gonna be just disgusting in the house. So they might be running like double AC units on themselves. Yeah, they should be fine. We need a Farmer Dodger emote. I saw a really cute, it's not jean, but like a really cute pair of like fabric overalls. Fuck, I might buy them. They looked so goddamn comfy, dude. Do you have a cougar story? No, not really. I know that there were cougars around. Like, there was always a possibility that we could see a cougar, but we never did. It was just always coyotes and big like bucks. Those were scary too. Cause like big deer with like the huge antlers. When you're a kid, that's fucking terrifying. But fortunately, we always had dogs. When I was younger, we always had dogs, so I would just always make sure that I had a dog with me when I would walk around. Any creepy stories? Creepy stories? Not really. Not that I can think of. There's all kinds of like weird shit that happens when you live like, you know, a bit further from civilization. We had everything. You know, we had running water, we had internet, we had electricity, all of that sort of shit. It wasn't like homesteading, but you live far enough out with enough like woodland around you, and yeah, weird shit happens, but anything creepy? Not really. When it's dark, if you go outside, it was always like this sounds creepy, but it was really normal as a kid. But like, if you were going outside when it was dark, it was take the dog, have a weapon, have a light, right? Like just in case, even if you were just walking to a car, you know. Yeah, but even the old pig shack, wasn't weird to me because it was always there. Like, as a kid, like, finding that, it was just like, oh, cool. There's another house back here, right? As an adult, sure, if I had walked back there and was like, what the fuck is this? But as a kid, it wasn't weird. The only weird thing about that was that near there is where the machete was that my brother fell on. So yeah, like a big knife. Or a sword, if you want to think of it that way. But basically there's an old shack that's in the woodlands near our house that was really easy for me to get to as a kid, and it apparently was an old pig shack. And so there were some tools around there that were abandoned and like rusted to hell. And one of them, when they first like bought the property, my brother was running through the woods out there and fell, and his arm fell on a machete, and he has a scar. It's pretty hard to see now, but he has a scar that goes like all the way up his arm basically from that. So, you know, don't run through the woods. Oh, that might be my father-in-law. One sec. I'm gonna BRB, and then I'll come back and we'll say bye-bye. Okay, one sec. Okay. Hello. Yeah, let's wrap up, guys. Good stream, everybody. Did I tell you that my wedding ring is just like packed full of Play-Doh? Because that's my life. Every time I look at this ring, I'm like, there's a lot of Play-Doh in there. I'm not totally sure how to deal with it. Actually, a lot of it has just kind of like naturally come out. Now that I'm looking at it, a lot of it is actually fallen out again. That's great. This ring still needs to be cleaned, but what a delight. Because I was looking at it before and I was like, it's just packed full of Play-Doh. I cannot wear this while playing with my kid anymore. Silly, silly. Okie dokie. I'm so sorry. I did not have channel points open this whole time. I'm so bad about that some days, dude. We can read off some Valentines really quick, though. Just kidding. There's no Valentines from today. That's fine. Good. Let's see. There we go. Early Winter. Thank you for the 43 months. Obi for the 42. PZN for the 53. Dorlugas for the 50. Zarabus for the 5. Resnick for the 51. Burke Black, thank you again for the huge raid. That was very sweet. Any of you guys, if you came over on that raid and stuck around, thank you so much. What a delight. I hope you come back. I appreciate it. Caustic Bandage, thank you for the 10 months. Unterhosen Orc, again, welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you so much. Dilettante, thank you for the 5. Embarrassed Squid for the 11. Nadriachi for the 60. Happy 5 years. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Marianne, thank you for the 52. Crest of Chance for the 8. Small Tom Gaming for the 51. Plasma Phoenix for the 40. Weird Uncle J for the 59. Bakovic for the 29. Ginger Guy for the 10. Stay Ashy for the 54. Marloose for the 20. Frankie Stein for the 17. Spiral Phoenixes for the 11. Krabba for the 3 years. Hell yeah! Happy anniversary. Zephyrus 1, 5 years. Hell yeah! Happy anniversary. Conical Copy, thank you for the 15 months. Jess is in for the 17. Kiera for the 34. Ashton Sakar for the 5. Skeleton for the 13. Line for the 46. Endeavor for the 50. Dr. Subterfuge, thank you again for all the gifted subs. MLK for the 7. Zelda Ichihara for the 11. Krusty for the 45. Dark Shadow for the 56. Odd Job for the 8. Hasmosh for the 43. Sam Skunkworks for the 32. Mikai for the 56. And Lil Big Pat for the 2. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Let's see who's streaming. Who's streaming right now? Later today is going to be more Godforged. If you guys watch that, that's where I play Fabia. Let's see. I'll go say hi to Amanda. Why not? Beep. Amanda's doing an art stream. Go say hi. She's very talented. And I'm gonna go and set up this frickin' wardrobe. I'm very excited. Wish me luck. Bless you all. Bye-bye.